Hello all, Krishan here. I wanted to make this video because I haven't made any videos up to this point about writing. And the only reason why I'm making this particular video about how to build a universe is because I was soaping, as always, and I was listening to a podcast, a writing podcast, people I know in it, and um, one of the writers who was being mentored was wondering what to do with a standalone story, standalone book. Has lots of success in trilogies within a set genre and wanted to do something different and wanted to know how to present it. And um, a lot of ideas were bantered back and forth, most of it mansplaining over her head and at one another, or just coming out of nowhere. And I found myself just looking at my Alexa going, I have a solution to this. And the solution that I have is building a universe. So, first question, what's a universe? In the terms that I'm explaining it, a universe is a production umbrella that encapsulates everything in your catalog. And within that universe is a brand. So you can see my hands there. Is in a brand. And your brand is what your fans know you by. For me, it's Alizar Universe. For um, Wright, Platt, and Truant is Sterling and Stone. It is what they know you by. And underneath that umbrella are your imprints. Just like Harlequin has, under Harlequin, which you know, the brand is romance, and their imprints, they have the Christian ones, the Amish ones, and the little spicy ones, and they have many different things you know by the imprint what genre it is, but you also know by the universe, Harlequin, the brand, you know what to expect. And building a universe for a writer, especially for an independent writer, I think is very beneficial. Number one, the first thing, it establishes a brand and establishes a theme. Going back to the SPP guys, what their theme is the worst possible thing happening, and then now what? So in all of their stories, there's an aspect of it that you establish what they fear, and then the worst possible thing that exploits that fear happens, and then they have to deal with it. In the Alizar universe, in my universe, the theme is the underestimated female. While it's not feminist, a lot of my stories are about people who are smart and people who are powerful, but they succeed because of their smarts and because someone underestimated them. And you can see that throughout all my stories. But I also write in different genres. So, Tales of Alizar, going back to the point I brought up in the podcast, is my imprint is my imprint um, for the books that are one-offs. If I was in the same situation that she was in, where she wrote a book and she didn't know where to place it just yet, I placed it under Tales of Alizar because that's the imprint for one-off short trilogies, things like that. My action series is The Coursers, which are bounty hunters getting folks from the afterlife, excuse me. And then I have a imprint of stories that are due to be written that takes place on my version of Earth, which is called Alizar Earth. And those will have more familiar backgrounds and cultures than my fantasy series. I'll also be doing a horror imprint, which is the Gothic series. So we'll have Hill Country Gothic and Appalachian Gothic and Zoo Crew. And you'll know that if you see Gothic in the title, if you have see the similar branding, then those are your horrors. That's the first thing. The second thing is um, it prevents the necessity of creating a pen name for a different genre. If you don't want to do a pen name, because that's exponentially so much more trouble. If you have to set up a social networking presence, you have to set up email lists and all those things. By creating a universe with separate imprints, you can just section off the mailing list you have into, oh, these folks read Tales. Oh, these folks read Gothic. Oh, these folks read Coursers. And you can have them all together. You can speak to them as yourself or whoever your primary pen name is. And it makes it just so much more manageable. The third thing is that it allows you to experiment. You can write something and then put it in your one off imprint. And if you decide you want to continue writing in that, you can make it its own imprint, which is kind of like creating its own pen name, but without having to put together a new identity. And if you decide that you want to end that imprint, you can. And then just set it aside and pretty much walk away from it if you want to. Um, Thinking about this more and more has given me and Leslie Watts the idea of talking through and putting together a series of videos about building her universe, Flamboyant, and then developing my universe, which is Alazar, and showing people how to do that for themselves because I think that is so essential for any writer who is seriously considering doing independent writing, fiction writing in the long term. And we've seen examples of how it can work, and we want to blaze a few of our own trails in doing that too. So I invite you to follow us here on the YouTube channel and in Instagram and the Facebook. Both of them are actually all of them are Alazar Universe, and see how this is going to turn out. Once again, this is Krishan Keller Hanna, Story Mother Alazar Universe, and as the Agnons say, stay metal.